Okay, so we're diving back into Pea Leaves today.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this book, it's like deceptively simple, you know? But the more we talk about it, the more complex it gets. And we even have a listener email that's adding a whole other layer to things.
Really, I'm always fascinated by how much deeper these children's books can go. Like, they're written for kids, but there's always something in there that resonates with adults, you know?
Totally. Okay, so in the excerpts you shared, it really struck me how the P seems to be like searching for who he is.
Yeah,
Moysu keeps repeating, I am, and it's always in all caps. You can just feel the P trying to figure out like his place in the world.
it's true. That repetition, it does something, right? Like, it's not just a statement, it's almost a demand, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I am, notice me, recognize me. It makes you think about how, even as a tiny pea, there's this deep need to understand who you are in the grand scheme of things. And some people even tie it back to the whole I am from the Bible.
Right.
Like, it has this whole spiritual layer to it.
Wow. That's like deep for a P,
Well,
right?
great.
And oh my gosh, speaking of deep, one of our listeners had this incredible observation about the word pulse. Obviously, it's a P, so like pulse, legume, right?
Mhm.
But then you think about it, and pulse is also your heartbeat, like your life force.
Oh, wow.
And it just makes you wonder, like, is Moisu hinting that the P is becoming more aware of, like, being alive?
That is such a cool observation, and it shows how much thought Moysu put into every single word. Suddenly, it's not just about a pea existing, but a pea awakening to its own life.
Exactly. And this leads us to another detail that, like, makes you stop and think the P finding his wife, who's described as a pea in a cup.
Ooh, yes.
What do you think that means? Like, is it significant at all?
Oh, I think so. Remember how the pea starts in the pod? Maybe that represents a more like open, free kind of upbringing.
Okay.
So then the cup could be like a symbol for his wife coming from a more sheltered background, different experiences shaping who they are.
Oh, that makes sense. It adds a whole other layer to their relationship, right? Like, they're coming from such different
Yeah.
places.
Totally. And it all goes back to those big questions of like identity and figuring out who you are in the world, not just the pea himself, but also like everyone he encounters.
Wow. It's amazing how much you can get out of this little children's book. It makes you wonder if Moisu, like, planned all of this or if it's just us bringing our own interpretations to it.
Right. I think that's what makes art so interesting. It sparks these conversations, these different interpretations. And whether Moisu intended all these layers or not, it's the fact that they're there, that we can find them, that makes Pea Leaves stick with us.
Definitely.
So if you're listening and you haven't checked it out, I highly, highly recommend it.
Yes.
You might be really surprised by what you find.